Good afternoon, and this is Clive Pearson, your match commentator, welcoming you to Roker Park for this afternoon's second division clash with Watford. Sunderland playing at home for the third time this season, having lost to Ipswich and beaten Swindon Town in their previous two home matches. And there we are looking at the two match mascots. Very difficult to see. The first one is Andrew Jones Potts, and he lives in South Shields, and he's 8.5 years old. He goes to Mowbray Junior School, and apart from his football, he loves to play golf and to swim. And he also plays five-a-side on Saturday afternoons, except when he's at Roker, of course, and seven-a-side on Sundays. And our other mascot is William Reamy, and he lives at Thorney Close in Sunderland. William goes to Hastings Hill Primary School, and he is 6 years old. Of course, he's a great fan of Sunderland, and he loves to play football. And we welcome both of our mascots, Andrew Jones Potts and William Reamy, to Roker Park this afternoon. They will certainly enjoy their part in the proceedings. There's Tim Carter. He'll be playing in goal this afternoon for Sunderland in place of the injured Tony Norman, who was so brave in the match against West Bromwich Albion. So Tim Carter, it'll be a test for him. And the Sunderland side this afternoon sees Tim Carter in goal, Ruben Agboola at 2, Paul Hardiman at 3, Gary Bennett the captain at 4, John McPhail at 5, Gary Hours at 6, Paul Bracewell at 7, Gordon Armstrong at 8, Eric Gates at 9, Marco Gabbiadini at 10, and Colin Pascoe at 11. The two substitutes this afternoon are Tony Cullen, who will wear number 12, and Thomas Hauser in the action for the first time this season after injury. He'll be wearing the number 14 shirt. Watford have Tony Coton in goal, Nigel Gibbs at 2, Kenny Jackett at 3, Lee Richardson at 4, David Holdsworth at 5, Glenn Roder, formerly of Newcastle, at 6, Rod Thomas at 7, Paul Wilkinson at 8, Gary Thompson at 9, Gary Porter at 10, and Neil Redfern at 11. And the two Watford substitutes are Dean Holdsworth at number 12 and Willie Falconer at number 14. And there we see referee Neil Midgley from Bolton going towards the centre circle. He's refereed in 40 countries, so he's a very, very experienced referee. And his two linesmen, when they come back to the centre, they're away inspecting the goal nets at the moment, will be Rob Faley of Huddersfield and Kevin Hughes of Wakefield. And there, Neil Midgley, the familiar face, doing some pre-match exercises. Always good to see that a referee is fit. Of course, he has to be. Normally referees retire at 48 years old, and now we can have a look at those two linesmen, Rob Faley from Huddersfield and Kevin Hughes from Wakefield. They both have similar flags now, so we no longer have yellow and red trim flags. There is the linesman on the left, just as we look, has the slightly red coloured flag. That's Rob Faley from Huddersfield. They've both got red and yellow checks on their flags, but if you can catch a glimpse of that flag behind the Watford captain, you'll see that there is a red trim along the edge of the flag, and that belongs to Rob Faley from Huddersfield. The two captains, the two match mascots, and the three match officials all shaking hands before the match gets underway, and the fourth official, incidentally, should anything happen to the three match officials, to one of the three, is Michael Scott. Sunny afternoon here at Roker Park. Watford lying second at the moment in the league table, behind West Ham. And what an afternoon for those two mascots to remember on their hallowed Roker Park turf. And there they trot happily off down the tunnel to enjoy the rest of the match from somewhere in the stands. So the match itself is about to get underway, but just before it does, I can let you know that the main sponsors this afternoon are Sunderland Borough Council, and we welcome them to this afternoon's match, and in particular the Mayor, Bob Kirby. But it's Watford to kick off, attacking the goal to our left, which is at the Hull end. The corresponding fixture last year was 1-1, as this afternoon's game gets underway. Straight away, Ruben Agboola in the action. That ball played through. Watford normally wear amber. Their nickname is the Hornets for that reason, but they're wearing an almost all white strip today. Agboola with the throw for Sunderland, the first one of the match. Gabbiadini helping. So too Gary Hours, who is fouled. First free kick quickly taken by Bracewell. Great ball across to Hardiman. The ball played through towards Armstrong, but in the wrong direction. Throw then to Watford, who promised so much for so long last season, only to fade away at the end of the season and not get one of those promotion places. And Sunderland had something to do with that. They won 1-0 at Vicarage Road late in the season to dent Watford's promotion prospects. Now Watford on the attack. That was a good leap there by Gary Thompson. The ball played up and under, Gabbiadini underneath it with Glenn Roeder. Hours picks up that loose ball, tries to play it through, but in the wrong direction. It's Gibbs for Watford, playing the ball down the right. McPhail there to cover. Oh, missed kicks. Almost allowed Paul Wilkinson in. Careless piece of play there by the Sunderland central defender. That's Lee Richardson. Oh, and a dive in means a free kick. Free kick then to Watford. Watford have 4 men inside that penalty area, plus another one just outside. Good flick on, and the flag was up in any case. The linesman hasn't seen Neil Midgley's flag. Now he has. There's an offside flag being raised. Neil Midgley recognises that and cancels the corner instruction to give the offside decision in favour of Sunderland. So Tim Carter wasn't to know there was going to be an offside. He managed to touch that ball onto the bar and over. So it was a good save. And that'll do him the power of good. Kenny Jackett plays the ball forward. Bennett. Agboola challenging. Manages to get the header in and squeeze the ball away into touch. Jackett, Welsh international, with the throw. Everybody seems to be marked up at the moment. Throws the ball inside, and sure enough, the Sunderland defence got that one away at the first attempt. Now Pascoe has it, weaves his way through, still going, half trip there, but here's Armstrong going towards it, but Gibbs just there in time, plays it through to Rod Thomas, and there's a flag up. A foul on Thomas. And there in picture, the Watford physio, Billy Hales. The referee going to have a word with Paul Hardiman, who committed that foul. There's Paul Hardiman, before the free kick can be taken. Neil Midgley, not normally want to take many names, but certainly likes to keep things going. And just had the word there with Paul Hardiman, and let's hope that does the trick. Free kick taken. Thompson, and the foul by Thompson, pushing down on John McPhail. So there's Gary Bennett, the Sunderland skipper, receiving the ball from Tim Carter. McPhail. Hardiman drives that ball forward, but that's a long way ahead of Gabbiadini. It's Glenn Roeder gets the ball away into touch. Armstrong to Hardiman. The ball floated across and Pascoe not quite able to get properly underneath that. So Tony Coton ended up gathering it quite safely. So no great goal-mouth scares in the first 5 minutes. Agboola barging into Neil Redfern there to concede the free kick. But Bennett watches that through ball safely and has time to clear. Bennett, but Agboola covering. And again the whistle goes. This time it's Agboola who wins the free kick. Thompson can't believe it. Agboola getting rather groggily to his feet. And that's good to see the referee inquiring as to how Agboola is. McPhail, Hardiman. Another long drive forward. That's Roeder with not a very good header. Sunderland being forced across the field though instead of forward, but that's a good ball to find Agboola. Pascoe swerves the ball in, and that's a good header. Oh, it's hit the post and it's there. Sunderland have scored. Oh yes. The chance looked to have gone when that ball hit the bar. But Gordon Armstrong was there for the rebound, and he put Sunderland ahead after 6 minutes. Sunderland 1, Watford 0. Nothing in it up to that stage. Both sides had gone forward, but there Sunderland really did strike. But Watford hitting back. That chance caused by the lovely swerving centre from Colin Pascoe. And then Armstrong hit home the rebound. So now Sunderland going forward again. Gabbiadini, cleared by Porter. Now Sunderland again, but that's not a very well-directed ball. Hours just gets the touch back to McPhail. Plenty of options open. Looks for Gabbiadini. Gabbiadini gets there, but the free kick's gone in favour of Sunderland. A push by Porter. Bracewell takes it quickly. Pascoe. And Roeder has to clear, but there has been a free kick awarded, I believe, to Watford. So Tony Coton, used to playing goal for Birmingham, takes a short one and gets a return ball. Coton taking his time before clearing. Thompson's flick on, but McPhail's header. That was Richardson. Roeder. Too high for Paul Wilkinson. An advantage played there. I think Gabbiadini committed a foul, but Watford kept possession, so the match goes on. Good refereeing. Agboola's clearance. Watford throw. Jacket with the throw. McPhail managing to get the ball away. Agboola with the header. This is Redfern. Bennett, Agboola. Oh, this is good play by Sunderland. Gates. Back to Bennett. Bennett again from Bracewell. Pascoe, Gabbiadini. Lovely early centre. If that ball had been a bit stronger, it could have been a good one. Now Thompson. A great play by Sunderland, this is. McPhail, the crowd knows it as well. Armstrong back to Hardiman. Bad one by Hardiman, but no one there except John McPhail. Bennett. Gates. Good layoff to Bracewell. Agbula. Hours tried the dummy, didn't quite come off. Bennett. But Agbula had come up with the attack there, and Bennett header into space. It had to be worked for. Now Bracewell. Gabbiadini didn't control it properly, but in goes Bracewell again, just misses. Porter. Gibbs. Thompson to Porter. Great challenge by Hours. Gates too small for that one. And again, no pressure on the Sunderland defence. And Thompson, for Watford, I noticed there, was spreading his arms out wide. What about me? He was standing in space, but didn't get the ball. Agbula. Watford unbeaten this season so far in league matches. 1-2 and drawn 2. And just on the right-hand side, you can see the Watford fans. Long travel up from just north of London. That's Armstrong to take the Sunderland throw. And there on the left of picture, the Sunderland fans. Appeals for the corner. Given. So Sunderland's first corner, in fact the first corner of the match. Armstrong already there to take it. Over comes the corner, far post corner, Bennett's there. So, oh, deflection. And Gates is in amongst the action as well. Armstrong looks for Gabbiadini, the pass not quite accurate enough. They've got to be really accurate if you're passing the ball into that penalty area. Hours wanted to give it to Bracewell, but Bracewell said no. And Agbula taking over. There is an injury because that's why the hold-up. Ruben Agbula waiting to take the throw. And there the Watford player being attended to. The injury to David Holdsworth, one of the Watford centre-backs. Thompson getting a little bit of attention there as well. There's Eric Gates in picture. A little bit of painkiller going on. Looks like the left knee. And then number 6 for Watford, the former Newcastle player Glenn Roeder, who many thought would be a loss to Newcastle, and he probably is, but that's Watford's gain. I was saying Watford were unbeaten this season. They've had 2 1-1 away draws and 2 home wins. Crowd becoming impatient with this long delay, but players have got to be fit. And quick treatment often prevents longer injuries. But now the game goes on. Agbula with the throw. Looks for Gabbiadini, but Gabbiadini didn't have an awful lot of chance against those 2 tall defenders. Thompson. Gabbiadini, good challenge, but Thompson picks up the loose ball. Does well to find Thomas. Back with Gibbs. Thomas again, with Hardiman in strongly. Roeder. Good leap by Thompson. But Agbula makes sure that ball gets back safely to Carter. Left-footed kicker. Armstrong. Gabbiadini. Oh, that pass is a shade short, but Sunderland did well to keep that one. That was Bracewell in the action twice there. Now Agbula. Pascoe. Bad pass by him. Richardson. That was Porter. Free kick awarded. Long flighted right foot kick. Bennett soars up, but almost a chance there for Rod Thomas. And cool play there by Paul Bracewell. That back pass had to be accurate. No Hardiman. Sunderland quite happy to keep possession at the moment. Wait for an opening. Again, too high for Gates. Gates needs the ball played to feet as opposed to at that height. Indirect free kick awarded there, I believe, by the linesman. Like the referee agrees. A bit of obstruction on the part of Paul Hardiman. Another free kick. Thompson proving himself quite good. Oh, and that's a chance, but Paul Wilkinson turned but didn't hit the shot at all. He miscued altogether. .5 minutes of play gone in this first half. Sunderland leading by that Gordon Armstrong goal in the 6th minute. Gabbiadini under this. Doesn't get there. Bracewell does. Ours. But Bracewell was fouled. The free kick awarded. In the meantime, Gary Owers has lost his right boot. Last time the teams met, it was a 1-1 draw here at Roker Park. Tim Sherwood scored for Watford in the 43rd minute. John McPhail equalised from the penalty spot in the 59th minute in front of 16,330 fans as Bennett takes the free kick. Tries to play it wide. That's a good header inside. Ours didn't quite manage to thread the ball through, but then found Agbula. The knockdown there was by Pascoe, back to Agbula, but that pass is short. Sunderland not quite putting it together up front yet, although they have got this first goal. Thomas leaving it for Richardson. Redfern. Shouts of kneel from the crowd and from the players. In goes the ball to touch from Bennett's boot. Porter. Jacket to centre. Blocked by the Sunderland defence there in the shape of Paul Bracewell. Passes back to Agbula, who has more space to clear. Gabbiadini challenging, but touched away safely by David Holdsworth. Pascoe gets the return ball from Gates. Gabbiadini, still could be on, still Gabbiadini. Pascoe, it's just wide. Just pulled his shot wide. But persistence there by Gabbiadini helped in that. He didn't hit the shot quite properly, and Coulton dived, didn't get there, and had the ball crept the other side of the post, I'm certain it would have gone in, but it went the wrong side from Sunderland's point of view. I was penalised, holding down Paul Wilkinson. That's Gates in shot. David Holdsworth with the free kick plays it to his left for Jacket. Centre by Jacket towards Thompson, who doesn't get there, but Hardiman has to touch it behind for the corner. Porter to take this corner. Rod Thomas on the goal line. The ball swung away by Bracewell to the one-man upfield, Eric Gates. Through strongly comes ours, Gates. Oh, it's a great ball to Gabbiadini. Gabbiadini has a chance to do some damage here, but he loses control. That was a great ball from Eric Gates. Just the sort of ball Gabbiadini likes, in space, plenty of room ahead of him, at speed. So Jacket with the Watford throw. Bennett, fouled by Thompson. Free kick has to be taken from the correct spot. John McPhail. Akbula. That's a good early centre. If it gets there towards Gabbiadini. Holdsworth needing all his skill and persistence to hold off Gabbiadini. Gabbiadini there in shot, looking at the linesman, but not getting any support. Bennett under this with Wilkinson. Wilkinson gets the header on to Thompson, but McPhail skillfully guides it back to Carter. Now Hardiman. Long ball downfield, not finding Eric Gates. That's a good turn from Richardson. Redfern. Offside against Rod Thomas. Former Portsmouth man, Hardiman. McPhail. He's got Bennett to his left, to his right rather, that's Bennett. The chip forward from Bennett, looking for Gates. Gates doesn't get there. Wilkinson. That was Redfern's pass forward. Bennett there to cover though. Thompson stopping the back pass. Now it's with Bracewell, who lets it run on towards McPhail and out to Hardiman. That ball was short of Gordon Armstrong. Bennett. Akbula.Owers did well to win that ball and find Gates. Bracewell took too long. Thompson finding Thomas. Hardiman doesn't get the ball into touch, but halts the attack for the time being. Played through there by Richardson, finding Wilkinson. Wilkinson looking for that line, but the ball in touch by McPhail. Halfway through the first half, still only the one goal scored by Sunderland. Gibbs with the throw. Long one, Armstrong style. Hardiman with the header. And the clearance. Good play. Gabbiadini. Whistle's gone. There's a free kick been awarded to Watford. That's Gary Porter on the floor. So Billy Hales again. Just a reminder that this afternoon's main sponsors are Sunderland Borough Council. So Watford began this season at home to Portsmouth, and the linesman must have drawn referee Neil Midgley's attention to something. That's David Holdsworth. Just being spoken to while the injury is being attended to by Billy Hales. So Watford beat Portsmouth 1-0 at Watford on the opening day of the season. Then they drew 1-1 at Oldham. They then earned another 1-1 draw, this time at Oxford. And then last Saturday, at home to Leicester City, Watford won 3-1. So they've started the season very well. 2 wins and 2 draws. Now the free kick can be taken. Nobody got touched to that. Oh, perhaps the head of McPhail did, because it's the corner signalled.
For a police message for Brian Plumpton. Your son is at the police assembly point. You pick him up, please. Brian Plumpton, your son is at the police assembly point.
Redfern with the corner. Near post corner, flicked on. McPhail's header away. Oh, great piece of play there from Redfern. I believe the whistle's gone. It has. That'll be a Watford free kick. Driven in. Dangerous type of free kick. Porter has the drive, but well wide. Goal kick. That's an offside against Thompson. Watford only came down from the First Division 2 years ago and almost went back at the first attempt. Bennett's free kick. Gates. Oh, that's not a very good ball by Gates. One or two balls have gone astray in that Watford territory. Redfern. Bennett. Agbula. Pascoe's touch to Bracewell. Oh, lovely play there by Gary Hours. Now he's created some space for himself. Gets the cross in. Gabbiadini's there. And bodies all over the place there in that Watford goal mouth. But what a brilliant piece of magic there by Gary Hours. Chipped the ball over the head of the Watford defender, Kenny Jackett. Created himself some space, put in the early centre, which caused havoc. McPhail. Hours again. Bracewell. McPhail, Hours. This time Hours just loses control, but Sunderland still have it through Gordon Armstrong. Hardiman on the overlap, but it's gone to Gates. Gates spots Hardiman on that overlap, but just doesn't quite find him. Gibbs with the Watford throw. Gibbs again. Finds Redfern. Porter. Oh, that's a great ball by Porter. Wilkinson pulls the ball back. Over comes Thompson. And that's just over the bar. That was a great move from Watford. By far their best move of the match. But that ball played through for Wilkinson was superb. Carter looking for Hours, not finding him. Bracewell with the header. In space, Gates there. Armstrong. Through for Gabbiadini. Holdsworth. Play on. No foul by Holdsworth then. Jackett. The free kick against Wilkinson on McPhail. Agbula. Gates. Oh, Pascoe, Gabbiadini, now Gates. The ball flicked through for Pascoe. But good defending by Glenn Roeder. Just now and again, Sunderland produce a flash of excellent work which opens up this Watford defence. Jones' clearance. Hardiman and Armstrong gets the ball back. Carter, Bennett, Hardiman, Gates, Bracewell, Agboola, good centre. Come out towards Armstrong. Armstrong gets there but can't get round Gibbs. Play goes on. Gibbs gets the ball away into touch for the Sunderland throw. So Armstrong in that position to take the long throw. McPhail was the man he was aiming for. Watford not getting that ball away without just a spot of trouble. Bennett across to the unmarked Agboola. Played towards Armstrong. Armstrong does well to get there. Now Gates. Armstrong. Deep cross. Gabbiadini. And Coulton had to be in the right place, which he was. But a brilliant centre from Armstrong. Found the head of Gabbiadini. And Gabbiadini hit the one spot where the goalkeeper was. And Tony Coulton must be thanking his lucky stars. He's taking a goal kick. There, the Roker end full of Sunderland fans. And there you can see the Sunderland electronic scoreboard. Thompson keeping down Gary Hours, conceding the free kick. Bracewell wants to take it quickly, decides there's nothing on, so runs away, and Bennett takes over. Floated across to the far side. Oh, that's a poor clearance from Richardson. Bracewell getting the centre in. Oh, and pandemonium in that Watford defence as Pascoe blasts that one over the top. And there you can see the three Watford defenders trying to sort things out between them. Nobody seemed to know what was happening. The centre came across and Pascoe shot over the bar. But Watford's defence isn't easily ruffled, and that must be a measure of how Sunderland are playing in patches this afternoon. They haven't conceded more than one goal in a match so far this season, have Watford. Hours finding Gates. Gates through for Gabbiadini. Yes, he's got on. I thought he'd got through there, but Glenn Road, the experienced man he is, even found time to stick out the vital boot and divert it away from Gabbiadini. But it is a corner, which Pascoe is going across to take. Played short for Hardiman. Back to Pascoe. Now the centre. Fast, far post centre. It's gone too far, really. That's Armstrong sitting on the ground. And the free kick has gone Watford's way. 33 minutes gone. Sunderland 1, Watford 0. Armstrong after 6 minutes. Armstrong. Pardon, that was Bennett. Wilkinson, oh, stopped by Bennett. He didn't really know he stopped that, but it's come to ours. Gabbiadini back to help. It's come to Jacket. Bennett. Bennett does the same thing with two Watford men around him. No mistakes in that sort of area. Now Bracewell. Bennett to McPhail. Tim Carter. Good long clearance. Hours. Knocked down by Thompson. There's a free kick been awarded in the Watford half. In fact, been taken from in the Sunderland half. Now it's Gates. Holding, waiting for someone to pass it to, as he tried there to come back to him. Still Gates. He's great at shielding the ball, is Eric Gates. That's a touch through from ours. Gabbiadini. And Gabbiadini didn't quite find Armstrong. Kenny Jackett. Thompson just nudged there by Bennett as he was going up for that ball. Neil Midgley giving quite a few free kicks. The centre there from Jackett. Oh, and Thompson getting there again, but not doing much with that. But an offside flag in any case. Hardiman. Long one by Hardiman towards Gabbiadini. And that's Glenn Roeder doing his usual tidying up job at the back. Wilkinson got the header to Armstrong, to Thompson. Oh, that was a good challenge though by McPhail. There's an important one as well, the centre from Gibbs. Thompson. Out comes Carter. Good play there by Tim Carter. When he saw the header from Thompson had gone astray, he was very quickly out to claim that one. And then offside against Marco Gabbiadini. Shade careless on the part of the Sunderland striker. Jackett beats Gabbiadini, who almost gave it to Gates, but it's got across to Gibbs. Richardson, Wilkinson, McPhail there to challenge. Armstrong coming back to cover that overlap. The ball gone to Bennett. Oh, and Bennett lucky to get a second attempt to clear. Gates loses out. The flick on there from Porter. Redfern in amongst the action. Gibbs. Wilkinson in space there. Nobody marked him, but he couldn't quite find Thompson with the header. So Carter was able to catch it without any pressure. Carter with the wind. Not a strong wind, it's just a stiffish breeze blowing towards that Roker end. Watford beginning to show in these last few minutes. Offside though against Wilkinson, stops that attack. McPhail finding Bennett. The crowd don't like to see this, but it's Sunderland trying to build from the back. That's towards Armstrong, manages to get the header in and find Gates. That was good play. Now Gates into the area for Pascoe. Pascoe to Gabbiadini. Yes! Oh, a brilliant goal by Marco Gabbiadini. A typical Marco strike. Gates and Armstrong both played a part in that. But it's Marco Gabbiadini who scores Sunderland's second goal in the 39th minute. Just as Watford were coming back into the game, Marco Gabbiadini strikes to give Sunderland a 2-goal cushion. So Watford kick off, 2 goals down. That was Thompson with the header. The centre cleared now to Gates. Gates great at shielding the ball. Now it's Bennett. Now Bennett going on a run. Looks for Armstrong, finds him. Hardiman, Bennett again. But he's lost the ball, has Bennett. Now Richardson. Gibbs back to Richardson. Ball played through, but too far ahead of Rod Thomas. Hardiman. And with just 4 minutes left in this first half, plus injury time, there was a fairly long stoppage when Dave Holdsworth needed treatment. Sunderland won't want to do anything rash at this stage. Now Gates. Agbula. Bennett. Looks for Gabbiadini, finds him too. Gabbiadini tried the touch through, but no one was running alongside him. Now Jacket. Bennett. McPhail. Bennett. Sunderland just keeping possession now in the final minutes of this first half. Jacket. Redfern. Thompson against Bennett. That's been quite a good scrap this afternoon. Thompson, a good player. That's Kenny Jacket about to take the Watford throw with 3 minutes left, plus that injury time I was mentioning. Holdsworth looks for Thomas on the far side. Thomas gets there, Armstrong covering. Gibbs. Ball played inside from Redfern. Vital touch there from Bracewell. Now Sunderland breaking. Pascoe on the ball. Owers to his left. Gates to his right. And there too, Gabbiadini. Gabbiadini still has the ball. Rolls it back. Gates, a brilliant save. And again. And how Watford survived that attack, we'll never know. Tremendous play there. Both on the part of the Sunderland attack and that Watford defence, who somehow kept that ball out. One great save by Coulton, another one kicked off the line. Now it's Porter. Jacket. Good ball to Wilkinson. The layoff to Redfern. But good play there by Bracewell and Bennett. And the ball played back by McPhail. Watford have had their moments up front. Hardiman. Too high for Gates. Bracewell's touch. Armstrong. Now, yes, Gabbiadini, yes! Oh, brilliant piece of Gabbiadini play. An opportunist goal if ever there was one, but that's the way Marco plays. He makes it Sunderland 3, Watford 0. With just a minute left before the half-time interval. That didn't look to be on, but the speed of Gabbiadini and his... He chases anything, does Marco. Got the outstretched foot there to beat Coulton and the Watford defender to make it 3-0. Still Watford come forward. Gibbs finds Redfern. The centre from Redfern, but there's a flag. It's an offside decision in the middle. So Sunderland have the free kick. And just listen to the crowd. They must be ecstatic after those two goals. Both excellent. Within the space of 4 minutes. Agbula. We're now playing injury time at the end of the first half. Again towards Gabbiadini. Armstrong couldn't find Gabbiadini with that return ball. Thompson did find Wilkinson. Thomas going down that Watford right. Hardiman, the man tackling him. Watford trying all they know to break through. Bennett soars up, clears to Hours. Good header by him to find Pascoe. Nobody forward now. Hours on the break. Played to the far side for Gabbiadini, played inside, Gates is there, can't turn though, but it comes to Gabbiadini once more. The shot, past the post this time. Oohs and ahs from the crowd. And just listen to that applause. Sunderland weren't in the publicity eye very much during the summer. They only bought one player during that close season, that was Paul Hardiman. But they've settled down into a very good-looking side. Gabbiadini, Pascoe, lets it run for hours. Agbula, 1.5 minutes of injury time played as Bennett takes over. Pascoe, the touch didn't work and Jacket gets it back to Coton. Look at the watch by the referee, and he decides that's the first half over. A pity really, because Sunderland took the lead early in the 6th minute. Then they scored. Just as Watford were coming into the game, they were looking more and more threatening. Thompson was showing 1 or 2 good things up front for Watford. But Sunderland it was who increased their lead to 3 goals with 2 excellent Gabbiadini goals in quick succession. So at half-time, it's Sunderland 3, Watford 0. And this is Clive Pearson, your match commentator, welcoming you back to Roker Park for the second half of this excellent match. And I mean Watford as well as Sunderland, between these 2 leading second division sides. Watford have played their part in a very, very entertaining match, but it's Gordon Armstrong and 2 strikes by Marco Gabbiadini, which bring about the scoreline Sunderland 3, Watford 0 as the second half gets underway. This afternoon's main match sponsors are Sunderland Borough Council, with Bob Kirby, their mayor, present at Roker Park today. Watford an early attack, and the one thing Sunderland must not do is slacken off. Carter getting his first touch of the second half. Gibbs with the header forward. Wilkinson, I was there first though. The clearance by McPhail towards Gates. Gates looking at the referee, but if anything, I think if there was a foul, it would have been against him. Wilkinson only finding Bennett. Armstrong. Hardiman. Gabbiadini, nice touch by him to find Bracewell. Oh, that's a great ball. Agbula on the overlap. Gates, but Agbula's pass was rather short of Gates, and perhaps Glenn Road were a little bit unlucky there to concede the free kick. Because certainly Agbula's pass to Gates just lacked that little bit of weight. Colin Pascoe replacing a divot. And a disappointing free kick it was. So it's the Watford goal kick, nicknamed the Hornets are Watford. Watford with the wind in this second half. Good header by Armstrong. Gets it through to Gates. Gates across to Pascoe. If Pascoe can keep it in, he can. Gabbiadini tries to get round Holdsworth, but that's a free kick to Sunderland. Gabbiadini hasn't heard the whistle. Now he has, and Sunderland will have that free kick on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Gary Howe is already there, collecting the ball. Pascoe and Armstrong there as well. Pascoe drives it in. Hours. Oh, nice ball. He threads it through. Armstrong centre. Gates didn't quite get the header. It's Thompson helping the ball out, but only as far as Bennett. Hardiman swings the ball across to that far side. A good touch on, but just in front of Pascoe. McPhail heads it back in towards Gates. And Watford clear that ball. Agboola having to race back to foil Wilkinson. Wilkinson back to Redfern. And that's a bad one from Redfern. Straight into the arms of Tim Carter. Paul Bracewell, midway through his loan period from Everton. Rather dangerous pass that by Bracewell. All Agboola could do was play it back to Carter. That's Thomas. Oh, it's Gates now looking for Gabbiadini. Rhoda just keeping off. In fact, Holdsworth rather, just keeping off Gabbiadini. Jacket towards Wilkinson. Bennett trying to let it run a touch and succeeds. Gabbiadini. Pascoe. Oh yes, Pascoe, good ball. Gabbiadini almost got there. Sunderland throw.
The attendance this afternoon, 14,538.
14,538 fans here to watch this match. I'm sure if they'd known it was going to be as good as it was, there'd have been a lot more. Armstrong ahead of Bennett, and in fact throws the ball straight out of play for the goal kick. So no shocks in the first 5 minutes of the second half. McPhail's header. Gates, Hours, Armstrong, Agboola, Bracewell, Agboola, Gabbiadini. Oh, Gates there. Ew, that looked certain to go in. And that was a brilliant piece of play there by Eric Gates. In fact, it was a good move all round. Of course, Sunderland buoyed up that man, Marco Gabbiadini, involved in it. But there had been an offence, so if that ball had gone into the net, there would have been a lot of disappointed fans because the free kick was given, perhaps for a foul by Eric Gates. Thompson got the flick to Wilkinson, but nobody there to support him, and Agboola makes a bad pass. Bracewell trying to get in. Redfern, hounded all the way by Gary Hours, but gets the ball to Porter. Porter trying the centre, but McPhail heads clear. Bracewell has time to turn. Gets good applause. Sunderland defensively, sensibly not doing anything rash, not trying too much on. Now Bennett, Bracewell, McPhail. Carter slices that one somewhat. Armstrong does well to keep that one in. McPhail, great tackle. Ours. But Redfern is robbed. Now, good turn. This is Ours to Gabbiadini. Gabbiadini finding Pascal forward for Ours. Gates wants an early centre, but Ours couldn't do that. Now the centre comes across. Too close to Coulton, though. Thomas for Watford. Trying Hardiman on for speed, and Hardiman gets there first. Up comes Nigel Gibbs to take the Watford throw. The centre by Gibbs. And Wilkinson and Redfern there at the far post, but neither of them able to make contact and the ball out for the goal kick. Tim Carter. Gabbiadini leaps but doesn't quite get there. Agbula did. Bennett. Now McPhail. Bracewell is fouled. The Watford player believes that Bracewell dived. Actually Richardson making that diving sign. Bennett with the free kick. 4-5 Sunderland men forward. He's gone to the one on the extreme right. Pascoe didn't quite reach him. The clearance there from Porter. And the free kick there to Sunderland as Pascoe goes down. Agbula with the ball. He it is who takes the free kick. Coulton punches away. Wilkinson. Thomas does well to resist that challenge from Hardiman. Still going. Good run this by Thompson, by Thomas. Porter across to Jacket. Good play by Bennett. Thompson was looking threatening there. And Watford have certainly had some good build-ups in this match. Sunderland's defence has had to be on its toes at times to keep them out. Armstrong. Gabbiadini. Roeder spotting the danger though and getting the ball away for Watford. That's Armstrong. Gates the nearest man to him. Armstrong's cross. Gabbiadini with the chest to Gates. Back to Gabbiadini. Good one. Pascoe! That's just about where he scored from against Middlesbrough in the last home game, but this time way off target. But the move was another good one from Sunderland. Of course, Pascoe was on the run when he scored against Middlesbrough. This time he had to wait for the ball to come to him. Coulton's clearance towards Wilkinson, but Bennett gets there first. Bracewell. That's Redfern clearing for Watford. Richardson. Agbula turns. Oh yes, does well, finds McPhail. The back pass was cut off. Gabbiadini's flick on, Gates offside. He's not happy, but quite clearly he was. We are filming from exactly opposite where that offside decision took place. Nudge there, I think, on the part of Gary Bennett. Watford have been given a free kick. into this second half. And just look how close that was to the penalty area. Oh, well held by Carter. Fine catch. There were a number of white shirts not very far away if he'd made a mistake, but he didn't. And he'll feel all the better for that. Armstrong under it. Thomas with him. Armstrong. The ball played wide for Kenny Jackett. Porter. Oh, Bennett made Carter stretch. See one young man behind Carter there in a Sunderland strip. Armstrong with the header, but into touch. Substitution about to be made on the Watford side. In fact, two men going off. Gary Thompson and Neil Redfern both going off. And perhaps a little surprised at Thompson going off. He's looked quite dangerous up front. And Watford are 3 goals behind, but perhaps some new pairs of legs on the Watford side might just create something from their point of view. So both substitutes on for Watford. That's Dean Holdsworth and Willie Faulkner. Armstrong. Offside against Gates. And there, Glenn Roeder about to take the free kick. Bracewell. Hours. Roeder. Hours again. And again Roeder intercepts. McPhail, the ball runs loose. Agboola. Pascoe. Back to Agboola. It's the up and under. But not quite far enough. Bracewell. Agboola. Pascoe. Free kick. The referee hasn't pointed now to in any direction yet, but it is to Sunderland. Bennett to take it. Just plays the ball short for Agboola. Another free kick. Just plays it short for Bennett. Bennett looking towards Gates, but not finding him. Thomas. Interception by Bracewell. Played through towards Gabbiadini. Just a fraction wide. He's got Gates in the middle, but Gates can't get there. Roeder it is, who steers the ball away from danger, but not completely away because it is a corner. There again, Sunderland almost breaking through. Armstrong to take this corner. That was a good ball through from Bracewell to create that chance. Overcomes the corner. Bennett up there. McPhail tries to touch it in. Doesn't quite succeed. Agboola, the man back on the halfway line. Hours. Bracewell. Under pressure from Lee Richardson. Runs the ball out of play. Agboola missed that one. To Wilkinson, but Agboola recovers. Ball out of play for another Watford throw. That was Gary Hours making sure that ball went into touch. Falconer, the substitute. Drives it across, but no Watford player could get onto the end of that one. Went out for the goal kick. And there, the top left of picture, the special enclosure for physically handicapped supporters. And that's usually quite full. And that's the substitute, Dean Holdsworth. Thomas manages to get the ball back. Appeals for handball against Armstrong. Upheld. So it's the free kick for Watford. Glenn Roeder to take the kick. That's Gates. Nobody got that one away for Sunderland, but now Bracewell manages to get it wide to Hardiman. Gates hounded there by Roeder. And the free kick eventually in favour of Sunderland. Friendly thank you very much by Eric Gates, the linesman. Paul Hardiman waving people forward. Armstrong header towards Gabbiadini. Oh, well played, Gabbiadini. Threads the ball through towards Gates, but just past Gates, and Gary Porter runs the ball out for the Sunderland corner. 18 minutes gone in this second half. No change from half-time, still 3-0. There to look at some of the fans in the full end. Over comes the corner. Come out to Ours. Plays the ball wide. Bracewell. Back to Ours. This time the ball driven in towards the centre. Away by Holdsworth. Ours. Oh, good turn. Perhaps he can run at them this time. Tries the shot. Comes off Roeder. Away comes Willie Falconer for Watford. Finding Wilkinson. The ball played forward by Richardson. McPhail, that's not a very good header by him. The chance for the shot, a deflection, but still Carter manages to get there. Armstrong. Gabbiadini tries to turn the ball inside and is fouled by Holdsworth in the act of trying to turn the ball inside for Eric Gates. And it's Paul Hardiman to take the free kick. He's delaying a fraction while Gary Bennett runs forward to lend his height to the attack. Ball's played down the left. Hardiman getting the return ball, and Sunderland winning a throw. Thomas running all the way back to cover that move. So that's in a good position for a Gordon Armstrong long throw. Bennett gets it. The drive! That came in, I think, from Eric Gates. Gabbiadini. It's towards Pascoe. The goalkeeper got there just. Falconer clearing. And Bracewell preventing that attack from developing. Falconer for Watford with a quick throw. But decides not to take it so quickly. Jacket. Wilkinson. Porter. Wilkinson. Holdsworth, that's Dean Holdsworth. But the challenge comes in. McPhail brings Sunderland out of danger. Pascoe, offside against Gates. Perfect linesman positioning. Right in line with Eric Gates. And at the moment that ball was played through from Gates rather, was definitely offside. Jacket. Agboola into touch. Jacket finding Porter. That's a rather weak centre, which Sunderland managed to get away, brace well, but couldn't get it away properly. So Jacket can play that ball in again. Porter, back to Jacket. And Watford certainly haven't given up hope in this game. Richardson. Challenged by ours, Bennett brings the ball away. Gates. Pascoe. Gabbiadini on the run, so too ours. The 1-2 played between ours and Pascoe not quite coming off, but Sunderland almost retaining possession through a Watford slip, not quite. Watford have the throw. It's Porter with the throw this time. In fact, decides to leave it to Jacket. Wilkinson. Well challenged. Falconer playing the ball through. Bennett there for Sunderland. Ours. Pascoe. Gabbiadini. The whistle's gone. Perhaps a dangerous play offence. But the free kick has gone towards Sunderland, whatever the offence. Yes, it's the dangerous play, the arm upraised for the indirect free kick. Bennett. Gabbiadini. But the Watford throw. Just over halfway through the second half. Pascoe, good play, Agboola, but not a very good ball from Agboola. Armstrong across to do the challenging, but it's with Thomas. And the free kick awarded to Watford. Hardiman not very happy about the decision, but the free kick has been awarded. Touch from Roeder to Porter. Gibbs. Porter. That was Holdsworth being robbed. Dean Holdsworth. There are two Holdsworths on the pitch now. Dean, the man playing up front for Watford. David, the defender. Carter. He hasn't put a foot wrong so far this afternoon. He's been called into action 2 or 3 times, and he's done everything with a great degree of comfort and with skill. Agboola. Looking for Gabbiadini. The ball breaks towards Gabbiadini. And that's Gabbiadini's hat-trick. 25 minutes of the second half gone. A good ball through from Agboola, a very good ball through, in fact. I thought just for a moment Gabbiadini had played the ball too far in front of him on his first touch, but he hadn't. He'd done it perfectly, and that's Marco Gabbiadini's first hat-trick not involving a penalty. So after 70 minutes, Marco Gabbiadini makes it Sunderland 4, Watford 0, and completes his hat-trick. So Watford finding themselves 4 goals down, and with just 20 minutes left for play. Hardiman. Hardiman again, getting the ball back to John McPhail. Carter. McPhail. Carter. Bennett. And Sunderland, again, quite sensibly cooling things down. They still don't want to concede any goals. Goals difference could play a part at the end of the season. The name of Marco being shouted amongst many of the crowd. Not surprisingly, he's had a stormer of a game this afternoon. The clearance by David Holdsworth. McPhail's header comes to Gabbiadini. Into touch. Sunderland's throw. Paul Hardiman's throw. The header from Gabbiadini to Armstrong. Roeder. Looking for the back pass, doesn't get it. And Holdsworth has to put the ball out for the corner. Shot there of referee Neil Midgley. Colin Pascoe, Sunderland's world's international. Gates. Good centre by Gates. The ball coming out towards MacPhail, but can't control it. Holdsworth, that's Dean Holdsworth, gets the ball partly away, into touch. Everybody except Carter now in the Watford half. That's Gabbiadini, who has got 3 already. The ball inside, but cleared by David Holdsworth. Thomas, well played, Hardiman, stopping that quick counter-attack. But still Watford coming forward. Thomas. Richardson finding Porter. The shot. And the goal kick. Carter looking around him before taking this goal kick. Doesn't get many first-team chances with Tony Norman on the books, of course, but he's played his full part this afternoon. Jacket has to pass it back. Agboola battling away, but the break favours Sunderland. Bracewell gets it back to Carter. Sunderland leading 4-0 with a fraction over 15 minutes left for play. 75 minutes gone. Holdsworth, that's David Holdsworth, finds Thomas. The ball with Hardiman. It's all very tight in there. Hardiman doesn't get there, but MacPhail does. And keeps it in, does well. Otherwise they would have conceded the throw. Bennett. Bracewell. MacPhail rounds Thomas, and the crowd beginning to cheer Sunderland, but I hope they're not going to give a goal away. It's a little bit dangerous doing that sort of thing in there. Free kick to Sunderland. Harsh blast on the whistle. Neil Midgley wanting Sunderland to get on with it. MacPhail tying his bootlace, perhaps one should say shoelace these days. He's removed some strapping. His tie-up as John MacPhail, so the free kick won't be taken just for a moment or two. That's John MacPhail doing some repairs. Now Bennett can take the free kick. Armstrong, beaten in the air by Gibbs. But Watford being given no room by Sunderland. They're being closed down and they're finding it difficult at times even to get the ball away from their own defensive area. That's Armstrong. Gets the return ball from Bracewell. Back with Hardiman. Come to Bracewell, but his touch didn't come off there. It's Richardson for Watford. Looking for support. Charged down by Armstrong was Gibbs' clearance, but Gibbs recovers to get it back to his goalkeeper. Bennett. Not very good control there from Jacket. Play on, good advantage given to Sunderland. But didn't quite come off as ours was robbed. But now Bracewell might get in. Gabbiadini does. And then is brought down. That's by Holdsworth, David Holdsworth, the defender. And certainly the first signs of real acrimony in this match. Steve Smelt coming on to attend to the Sunderland striker. Referee certainly booking Holdsworth. He's got the book out, and I can see the red card, but whether he raises it or not is another matter. No names in the book so far. David Holdsworth certainly being entered in referee Neil Midgley's notebook, but which card will he produce? If he judges that it's serious foul conduct, the red card will go up. It's the yellow one. So relief for the Watford side, because it did look quite a hard tackle. But on the other hand, Gabbiadini is the sort of player that gets into situations that other people wouldn't. He's so quick as Gabbiadini. He forces mistakes like that. Steve Smilt's done running repairs on Marco. And the game about to resume. Gary Bennett with the Sunderland free kick. Steve Smilt, the man you can see sitting down just on the left of the players' tunnel as we look. Armstrong gets the header. Gabbiadini there. Brings it down well, but can't find a man that has to play it back to Bracewell. Agbula. Armstrong. Pascoe. Wants the 1-2. Doesn't quite come off. Well read by Kenny Jackett. And Pascoe just being spoken to by referee Neil Midgley. Hardiman in control of that situation. Armstrong. That one in touch. Bounces on the roof, just to our left. Wilkinson with the back header, but only in a touch. Gates, so good in close situations, finds Bracewell. Pascoe, Agbula on the overlap, but robbed by Kenny Jackett. Then Hours gets a foot in, and a little bit of reaction play. Pascoe on the floor, gets up, is beckoned across by the referee, and I hope this fine match doesn't spill over into ill temper, because it really has been a fine match in every sense. Sunderland lead by 4-0 and certainly deserve to be well ahead, but Watford have played their part in a superb game of football this afternoon, and it would be a shame if it degenerated into anything less than an exciting, entertaining match. Certainly some more names going into the book here, Pascoe being one of them. Hasn't finished with Pascoe yet. And Kenny Jackett as well. And off goes Colin Pascoe, I think. Yes, indeed. And Tony Cullen comes on in his place. So the Sunderland free kick, awarded for Kenny Jackett's foul on Colin Pascoe. Bennett chips the ball towards Gabbiadini, but headed away. Cullen in the action for the first time. Tries to find Bennett, but that wasn't a particularly accurate pass. But he's got the ball back again, has young Cullen. Turns, advantage. Cullen left on the ground. That's ours, battling his way out of trouble. Bennett. And Bennett quite happy to take the ball deep into his own half for safety reasons. Only 8 minutes to go. Cullen receiving attention on the far touchline as the ball is swung into touch. Gibbs. Has to throw the ball back. McPhail. The centre from Gibbs. Agbula, it's an up and under, he missed kick there. Bennett helps him out of trouble. Bracewell. Good chip over the head of Porter to find ours. And the ball in touch for the Watford throw. Free kick to Watford. Cullen fit, that's him running through picture, left to right. John McPhail. Armstrong stops the ball going out into touch. And then the free kick for Sunderland. And good to see the handshake between Gates and Roeder. Two old campaigners, of course. Oh, Gabbiadini gets round his man, pulls it back towards Gates, but not quite. I think it was Roeder who just got the touch to push the ball behind for the corner. Glenn Roeder, the captain of Watford. Armstrong, if he can turn, he couldn't. Whistle's gone in any case for a Watford free kick, just about on the edge of their penalty area. Use of the arm, good decision by the referee, Gordon Armstrong, putting his arm across the chest of the Watford defender. Richardson. That Watford move breaks down. Bennett now, back pass is cut off, so he finds Bracewell instead. McPhail. Five minutes left of this match. Good play there by Tony Cullen. And Bennett gives Carter some more kicking practice. Gibbs got up above Armstrong. Handball offence there in favour of Sunderland. Armstrong on the right, Hardiman on the left. And it's Armstrong who comes to take it. Jacket misjudging that one somewhat, but recovers. Agbula nods down to Bracewell. Bennett. McPhail. Bennett. Possession football by Sunderland. Very understandable, leading 4-0 with just 3.5 minutes left for play. No risks at this stage. Armstrong doesn't control it, it runs into touch. McPhail's clearance, but to no one in particular. Jacket. Richardson. In fact, Falconer, not Richardson. An offside decision brings a free kick to Sunderland. to MacPhail. And this has been a fine display by Sunderland. A slip allows Armstrong in for Sunderland. Played across to Agboola. Ours on the run, that's Ours. Lets it run cleverly to Gates. Cullen goes for the line. Gets round Jacket, brings the ball across, but too close to Coton. Nice piece of play by the Sunderland youngster. Wilkinson's knock on, but Dean Holdsworth couldn't get there. MacPhail. Carter. Armstrong. Bracewell. Agboola lets it run to Cullen. The ball out of play for a throw to Sunderland. Watford have never beaten Sunderland at Roker Park in a league match. They've only met each other 7 times before. As Cullen goes for the line, gets the ball across again, and it's turned behind by Nigel Gibbs. Sunderland have won 3 times, and the other 4 matches have been drawn. Sunderland have scored 20 goals to Watford's 7. And this is certainly going to be Sunderland's 4th home league win against Watford. As we come into the last minute. Over comes the corner. Gabbiadini gets the ball, but doesn't go anywhere in particular. Driven in by Cullen, but too far. Watford get the throw. Richardson was almost caught in possession, but he got the ball away safely enough to Nigel Gibbs. Good play by Hardiman to find Ours. Still Ours. Thomas robs him. Ours comes to try and get the ball back. Jacket. And David Holdsworth has to pass it back. That's the way Sunderland are pressurising Watford this afternoon. Hardiman's header. Now Gibbs. Richardson. Dean Holdsworth. Richardson. And that's safely into the arms of Carter from Agboola's back pass header. Sunderland now just waiting for the final whistle. Half a minute of injury time has been played already. Sunderland's throw. Armstrong. Gabbiadini. Even he can't get it to that ball. Roeder swept the ball back to Coton. Whistles from the crowd wanting the match to end, which it does right now. So listen to the applause, well deserved for an excellent Sunderland performance. The match itself has been very good because both sides have come to Roker Park prepared to attack. Watford the unlucky side on the day, catching Sunderland in particularly good form. A hat-trick by Marco Gabbiadini. Sunderland were leading 3-0 at half-time. Watford tried hard, particularly just before Sunderland's second and third goals, and again for much of the second half, but not finding a way through. And Gabbiadini setting the seal on a fine performance with his third goal and hat-trick in the 70th minute. So the final score from Roker Park, a very satisfying Sunderland 4, Watford 0.
Thank you very much for your attendance this afternoon. I wish you all a very safe journey home. And just a reminder that the...
Then an hour later, Sunderland...